Oops, sorry. First, we'll take roll. Good morning. Make sure our boards are working.
Is yours working?
Oh. Oops, wrong one. Okay, thank you. Thanks. Okay, we do have a quorum. All right, before we get going, there are two bills that will go at the request of the patron that will go by for the day. That's House Bill 2126, Delegate Wilt's bill, and House Bill 2282, my bill. So without objection, those bills will go by for the day. And I guess we'll go to patrons. Let's see, is there a sign-up sheet, Madam Clerk?
Yes,
okay. So then we'll just go in order what I have them here, other than committee members. Delegate Ballard. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Buddy. Ballard. I'm going to get Ballard first.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
I thought you said buddy. Sorry about that, Mr. Speaker.
Well, you ready?
I'm still asleep.
We look a lot alike, Mr. Chairman, Buddy and I.
True.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. House Bill 1441, pretty straightforward bill. It simply seeks to add Giles County and Pulaski County to a group of localities that's eligible to receive funds from the Tobacco Indemnification and Community Revitalization Fund. If you look at the commission, the Tobacco Commission's vision statement, it simply mentions that the commission seeks to meet the region's specific challenges related to historic dependence on tobacco production, textile, furniture manufacturing, and coal production. The state website talks about it was established for the purpose to provide payments to tobacco farmers as compensation for the adverse economic effects resulting from loss of investment in specialized tobacco equipment in barns and lost tobacco production opportunities associated with a decline in quota. And then number two, most importantly, revitalize tobacco-dependent communities. So for my home county, Giles County, it's most definitely a tobacco-dependent community in that more than 1,000 high-paying jobs were lost as a result of the declining tobacco cigarette markets at the Celanese plant located there in Narrows in Giles County, Virginia. And then number two, Giles County's economy culture recovery efforts mimic that of nearly every community in the Commission's Southwest. So that's for Giles County. As to Pulaski County, Pulaski County is an emerging next-level community that hosts a variety of strategic economic development assets that would holistically benefit and strengthen the Commission, its mission, and all those that it serves. So just a few points. Number one, has a regional airport. The River Valley Regional Airport has over 1,000 acres of prime industrial park, marketable real estate at the New River Valley Commerce Park. It is home to Virginia's largest automotive OEM, which is Volvo Trucks. It's a successful small business incubator, the Pulaski County Innovation Center. And Pulaski County is center to the most of New River Valley's regional focuses. We have a regional airport, regional wastewater, regional jail, community college, regional industrial park, regional landfill, workforce investment board, and the list goes on and on and on. Probably just most logically that adding Pulaski County would close the loop on the donut hole with Pulaski County being squarely on the cut line of the tobacco producing region. I certainly understand that there's resistance to add localities to this, and I appreciate that, but I would ask that this committee look favorably upon this bill and report it out. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Delegate Ballard. And we do have Delegate Plum in the queue for a question, but I do ask that if you want to speak, that you'll use your request to speak button. So with that, Delegate Plum, you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The question is, your argument is very convincing, but I was curious as to why these counties were not originally a part of the commission.
Mr. Chairman, Delegate Plum, I don't have the answer to that. I don't know what the selection criteria was at the time when they were parsing out the localities to be included. Certainly maybe some members that were on this committee long before my time could answer that, but I don't know the reason, Delegate Plum, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair,
Delegate Marshall.
so this was before my time, but this bill was originally brought was by Delegate Whit Clement and then Senator Charles Hawkins. I guess it was almost last century that they brought this bill forward. And Kilgore was part of the negotiation. Not quite sure why they, excluded, because if you look at the map, it just didn't quite make sense. But the three of us have been on the Tobacco Commission for a while. The fund balance is going down. And so unless you win the lottery and bring some money to us, then we'll consider this. But the amount of money we have invested in different projects throughout South Side and Southwest Virginia.
I certainly understand that. Thank you, Delegate Marshall, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions? Okay, anyone in the audience like to speak in favor of House Bill 1441? Anyone in opposition? 1441. None in the queue, Madam Clerk? Okay,
We have one in the queue.
we do have one in the queue.
Yes, Secretary.
But I don't think there was a position on the bill.
If you're in the queue and you've indicated you have no position on the bill, we're probably not going to hear from you. Okay, so with that, committee
Mr. Chairman.
operates on. Yes, sir.
Are you ready for a
Right.
motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
I move that we lay this bill on the table gently.
Second.
Have a motion to gently lay the bill on the table and a second. Any discussion? Well, there's no discussion, so please vote on the board. Delegate Plum.
I can do that for you.
Delegate Plum indicates an aye vote, so I'm sorry, the bill fails to report, and the bill to lay on the table, motion to lay on the table passes 6-0.
Thank you for the consideration.
Thank you, Delegate Ballard. Delegate Taylor, 1692.
There's two bills for delegates.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the subcommittee. Today I'm presenting HB 1692. This bill would add Petersburg to the Virginia Tobacco Indemnification and Community Revitalization Fund and the Virginia Tobacco Region Revolving Fund. The need for this is long overdue, as Petersburg has a rich history pertaining to tobacco. For example, during the 18th century, it was called Tobacco Town. Throughout its existence, Petersburg has been a major tobacco manufacturing hub, a place where tobacco farmers brought their tobacco to sell, and home of the company we may all remember, Brown & Williamson Tobacco Company. Economically, Petersburg has always been saturated with the tobacco industry. When Brown & Williamson left, Petersburg's economic decline began. Adding Petersburg to both of these funds will help the city's growth process and bring it closer to flourishing once more.
Thank you. Delegate Taylor, anyone have any questions? Delegate Taylor, anyone in the audience like to speak in favor? Opposition? Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Delegate Wright?
I move we lay this bill on the table gently.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to lay the bill on the table. Please vote on your boards. Delegate Wright?
Mr. Chairman, I'm voting aye, but it doesn't.
And Delegate Plum?
Hear that for you, Delegate Wright?
Okay. Bill to lay on the table, or motion to lay on the table passes 6-0.
Thank you.
And you have another bill,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
1839?
Again, good morning. I am here to present HB 1839 on behalf of the South Central Wastewater Authority. The Wastewater Authority owns and operates the South Central Water Plant located in the city of Petersburg. This plant serves the region, including the cities of Petersburg, Colonial Heights, and portions of Chesterfield, Dinwiddie, and Prince George counties. South Central Water Authority is one of the largest remaining wastewater plant upgrades yet to be accomplished. This upgrade is to the wastewater treatment process. The South Central Wastewater Authority has volunteered to have its upgrade included on Virginia's priority list, and as a result, it is to be completed by law January 1st, 2026. The project cost was originally estimated to be $113 million, and of that, DEQ has provided $83 million from the Water Quality Improvement Fund grant. After 2 rounds of bids, the construction bills have come in much higher, the lowest, most recent bill being approximately $235 million. And after communicating with DEQ, which is funding most of the project, South Central Water Authority has rejected the bids in hopes of getting better bids in the third round of procurement. They have continued to collaborate with DEQ on the design and procurement approach to solve this problem. As stated earlier, the project was proposed as one large, complex project to be completed on a very tight schedule of January 1st, 2026. The feedback received on construction bills indicate the single large project that was too large, complex, risky, and the very high bids reflected that. HB 1839 overcomes these challenges in two ways. First, by breaking the project into smaller phases. 6 projects are envisioned with an accelerated rate of construction. And second, requiring the completion of the final phase by January 1st, 2030, at the latest, with DEQ providing oversight of the actual schedule. This bill also includes a date of September 1st, 2023, which the South Central Water Authority must submit to DEQ a proposed construction program. It also is to begin construction by December 31st of 2023, or within 150 days of DEQ's approval of the phased construction program. It must submit annual progress reports to DEQ by February 1st of each year and purchase nutrient credits to achieve compliance in the interim. I'm also happy to add that the localities mentioned, the cities of Petersburg, Colonial Heights, as well as the counties of Chesterfield, Dinwiddie, and Prince George support this legislation and will greatly benefit from this wastewater upgrade.
Thank you, Delegate Taylor.
Oh, and I apologize, there is a substitute that needs that.
Okay.
Substitute.
Have a motion to adopt the substitute and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Substitute is before us. That's what we have in front of us, correct? Okay. All right, thank you, Delegate Taylor. Any questions of Delegate Taylor? The committee. Anyone in the audience like to speak in favor of House Bill 1839?
You got somebody come forward.
Come forward and state your agency.
Mr. Chairman, Anna Killius with the James River Association. We were part of the group that helped negotiate the amendments before you right now. We greatly appreciate the patron and the proponents working with us on those tweaks. We think that those amendments will protect the integrity of the Enhanced Nutrient Removal Certainty Program, which is going to deliver pollution reductions to the James River, while allowing the localities and the utility the time they need to get the project done. So we greatly appreciate those changes, and we support the bill.
Thank you. Anyone else? Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Patrick Fanning with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. I'll associate my remarks with Ms. Killius. We appreciate the patron working with us to uphold the integrity of the Enhanced Nutrient Removal Certainty Program by allowing the utility to purchase credits until its upgrades are complete, and we appreciate her consideration. Thank you.
Anyone else in support? Anyone in opposition? Anyone in the queue, Madam Clerk, with a position? Okay. All right. Any further questions? We have. Okay. Have a motion to report House Bill.
With a substitute.
I'm sorry, with the substitute. I'm sorry.
Just need to get it approached.
I don't have a statement. Do you, Madam Clerk?
No, sir.
So I assume it does not. We have a motion to report and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote on the board, please. Bill reports on a vote of 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will have Delegate O'Quinn. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. I have House Bill 1781.
Go ahead, whenever you're ready.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. You might remember back in 2019, there was a bill passed that created the Southwest Virginia Energy Research and Development Authority. And so this bill essentially, I guess, not only further codifies, but details additional things that authority can and should be doing. So essentially it does 4 things, and I'll move through them quickly. So the authority is already eligible to apply for a number of federal-based energy-related grants, but this would strengthen Virginia's position to be able to compete and win those grants. It allows, or it adds a greater level of specificity for the types of energy projects that the R&D authority should be promoting. There's a whole list of things there, from energy storage to carbon capture to pump storage, hydropower. It also authorizes the authority to promote the capture and beneficial use of coal mine methane from active, idle, and abandoned mines. And that's one of those situations where if you never permit another mine in all of Virginia, you're still going to have that methane that emanates from there. And so being able to capture that and do something with it, I think could be beneficial. In that quest to find out if it's beneficial or not, the last thing this bill does is direct the Department of Energy and DEQ to assess how that's going, how we can further develop that technology, and then report that back to the General Assembly.
Thank you, Delegate Quinn. Any questions? Delegate Quinn? Yeah, Delegate Plum.
Ask the gentleman, without the bill, what would be the situation with the methane?
Mr. Chairman, I would say that it's still going to happen. I think it could still be captured, but the R&D authority wouldn't necessarily be able to play a role in helping to advance that technology. I think there may be others who can answer your question more specifically if you really want to get down in the nitty-gritty.
Thank you. Any other questions? We'll hear from the group in the room. Anyone in support of House Bill 1781, please come forward. State your agency name.
Mr. Chairman, Will Payne, Coalfield Strategies in Bristol, lead project development for this collaborative reference in the bill that includes the authority, the Department of Energy, and private economic development group Invest Southwest Virginia, of which Delegate Quinn is chair and works on projects. We have this language expanded in the bill around projects because, as he mentioned, when we compete for federal grants and as large as $100 million we did for transmission last week, we're competing against West Virginia, Kentucky. The competition is stiff, and neither state has an authority like this, so it gives us a leg up. We have projects today of about $2.36 billion in the portfolio. Assuming all are successful, that leads to about 1,027 jobs. And that's beyond blue hydrogen, green hydrogen, pump storage hydro, and geothermal cooling with data centers. So this bill will help us as we move forward and make use of these reclaimed mine properties.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Christy Morton with Two Capitals Consulting here on behalf of the Virginia Nuclear Energy Consortium, and we support the bill and thank the patron for his leadership.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Chris Nolan with McGuire Woods on behalf of CNX Resources, and to Delegate Plum's question, CNX Resources is a natural gas producer in Southwest Virginia, and it primarily captures gas from coal beds, but this is different than coal bed methane. It is coal mine methane, and what that means is it's methane that would otherwise be vented into the atmosphere. There's no requirement to capture it. Now, we are capturing some of that today, but what we want to do is work with the authority to promote not only our capture, but other companies as well, to use that as a catalyst for economic development and to bring manufacturing jobs and energy production to Southwest Virginia to create a hub, and we want to be a part of that strategy. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in support? Anyone in opposition? Anyone? Delegate, I'm sorry, Delegate Plum.
And I apologize to the patron, but let me ask essentially the same question related to nuclear energy. Is this the first time that nuclear energy has been a part of this consortium?
Mr. Chairman, yes. I think that nuclear is one of those things that requires a whole lot of sort of dominoes to be put in place, and I don't think that the Southwest Virginia R&D Authority necessarily had the ability to tackle something the size of nuclear before now. So for purposes of the R&D Authority, I think nuclear is one of those things that if the Commonwealth's going to go in that direction, then they would be in a position to assist, and if not, then it'd be one of those things that you could theoretically work on but probably wouldn't.
Anyone else in the committee?
Move to report.
Motion to report and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote on your boards.
Aye.
Bill reports on a vote of 5-0. Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Quinn. Okay, next we have Delegate March. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. HB 1811 amends the Code of Virginia relating to hunting deer and establishes a continuous open season. We have an amendment that specifies this is for hunting on private property only. So I've received so many calls from my constituents about how many people are...
Should we, excuse me, we need to probably adopt that amendment. Yeah. We have a motion. Motion to adopt the amendment and second in discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Amended bill is before us. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Delegate March.
I've received so many calls from my constituents about how many people are hitting deer in their vehicles. This bill is an attempt to solve a problem in rural Southwest Virginia. Where we live, we have long stretches off 2-lane roads, and deer are totaling so many vehicles. I've heard from law enforcement, community leadership, motorcyclists, mechanics, truck drivers, farmers, etc. I have a friend whose son has already hit 3 deer in his own driveway just this year. My own son totaled the brand new Floyd County High School driver's ed vehicle, hitting not 1 but 2 deer, and he somehow still got his license. And my parents, who are 70 years old and have never had a car accident, came to visit us this Christmas, and they hit a deer. They live in East Tennessee, and they say they've never seen so many deer as when they come visit us in Southwest Virginia. Here's the facts regarding deer overpopulation. Chronic wasting disease has even been found recently in Fairfax County, and the county has implemented an archery program to try to curb the overpopulation. The Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources estimates there is a pre-hunt population of 850,000 to 1 million whitetails living across the state. The Arlington County Department of Parks and Rec decided to pursue a contractor-conducted drone-based study of local deer. The article goes on to report, at the conclusion of the survey, the drone contractor stated all evidence pointed to a number of deer in Arlington County that exceeded the area's carrying capacity. In other words, deer overpopulation was confirmed. Then there are also serious life-threatening tick-borne illnesses like Lyme disease that have been associated with deer, and Lyme disease is also an epidemic in our area. So if this is an issue in urban and suburban areas, imagine how inundated with deer that rural properties get, because there are not only no predators, but also there is plenty of easily accessible food and habitat for them to reproduce in large numbers. And I know that we don't want to have to go down the path and have to implement what Staten Island, New York, their strategy of taxpayer-funded deer vasectomies to curb the overpopulation of deer when private property owners can easily take care of the problem on their own dime. This is also a property rights bill. My constituents agree that our ancestors fought in the American Revolution in order to not have to beg the crown to hunt the royal deer. So if it's on your property, you should be free to hunt year-round. I've had cattle farmers, beekeepers, and seasonal workers also reach out that the current season does not allow for them to have time to hunt. Farmers in particular would like to be able to hunt their property before hay season, when they inadvertently kill many fawns with their tractors while haying. I hope you will consider my constituents when deciding how to proceed with this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate March. Any questions of committee at this point? Hearing none, Delegate Fowler. Okay. Anyone in the audience like to speak in support of House Bill 1811?
My name's Will Shaw. I live in Louisa County. I'm pretty sure you all probably know that 100+ years ago, the white-tailed deer population had become so tiny in the state that we had to enact draconian hunting controls and reintroduction programs to bring the population back up. Well, it's 180 degrees different now. We have a huge overpopulation. And yeah, the deer start to suffer from diseases, and the population of deer infects people with tick-borne diseases. But another problem with the overpopulation is the drastic change that overbrowsing does to the natural landscape. Deer they'll eat anything if they have to, but they change the tree and shrub composition, and they preferably consume rare and endangered species such as our state's native orchids. There's a section of Interstate 64 west of Charlottesville where the taxpayer's dime has financed vast, tall fencing beside the interstate to keep the deer off the highway to reduce collisions. If we have that many deer, then we either need to reduce the deer or reduce the vehicles. And I think the open season ought to do it. And this bill does give Department of Wildlife Resources the ability to impose a season if the population goes significantly down. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in support?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee. Stephanie Talon with Virginia Farm Bureau. One of the most common concerns we hear from our members is the impacts of wildlife damage on crops and livestock. I think as you've heard already today that this bill is a result of those frustrations. Farmers really want the ability to be able to protect their property at all times immediately when damage occurs. And so for that reason, we support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in support? Anyone in opposition? Come forward, state your agency, association. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. At the beginning of the 20th century, wildlife populations across this nation had been decimated by commercial hunting and the lack of scientific management. This bill is a step back from the efforts of America's sportsmen to provide science-based conservation efforts to restore wildlife and to maintain it. Hunting has been the primary tool for wildlife management throughout the United States, and indeed the North American model of wildlife management is a model for the world. Hunters in Virginia certainly like longer seasons, and I'm not telling you they don't. But the problem is when you remove the active management of a species, you open the door to havoc caused by all kinds of things. But there are a lot of lands that will not be hunted in this bill because people oppose hunting or people have other reasons. This is not a panacea. The department has a white-tailed deer management plan committee. I represent the Virginia Hunting Dog Alliance on that committee during the current cycle. There are parts of the state where the deer population is declining precipitously, particularly in Southside Virginia, Mecklenburg, Lunenburg. They've seen the kill fall. What we need is a continued support for the Department of Game and Inland Wildlife Resources, and to let scientists and let the citizen board appointed by the governor set the seasons. They listen to their citizens. In fact, tomorrow they will be hearing input on next year's seasons. That's a good time to come in and ask for a longer kill season if your community needs it. But one size does not fit all, and this is a bad bill. I urge you to defeat this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in opposition? Can we hear from the department? I think this is pretty significant.
Probably hope not, but he's probably better.
Morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good
Ryan
morning.
Brown. I'm the Director of the Department of Wildlife Resources, and I should state this early in the session that the administration does not yet have a position on this particular legislation, but I'm happy to tell you about deer management in Virginia as we do it currently and answer any questions about the bill.
I think it'd be prudent to let us hear from that. This is a significant change.
Yes, sir. As was referenced by a previous speaker, we manage actually all of our big game species, but most notably deer, which is our #1 hunted species in Virginia, also the #1 wildlife viewing opportunity species in Virginia. According to a developed plan, we're on the 3rd version of it now. We redo it every 10 years and try to manage populations across the Commonwealth according to its outcomes as dictated by the stakeholders in the biological science. That plan recognizes that the deer population in Virginia is not uniform. And in fact, to some of the different areas of Virginia, it's actually the urban and suburban areas of Virginia that often have the highest populations as opposed to the rural areas due to lack of hunting opportunities in the urban areas. And in fact, the population is either noted to be one in need of reduction, stabilization, or increase, and that varies across the Commonwealth, with the higher population areas usually tagged for population reduction as a goal, and of course the areas with lower populations either keep it stable or increase based on the desires of the local community and the availability of habitat and resources for the species. With that plan, we established what now are some of the longest seasons anywhere in the country for deer hunting. And it's not exactly the case that a longer season necessarily leads to greater harvest. We see highest participation in hunting during the fall, as you might expect, along with the annual rut and typical time of the year that people engage in hunting. With longer seasons and in some of the higher population areas, we in fact have early seasons and late seasons, as you may be familiar with. And we see participation decline during those times of the year. So it's a fairly nuanced area to regulate and influence behavior and manage populations accordingly. We do our best according to the science and according to the cultural demands of the affected areas.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions, Director Brown? Dr. Brown, I remember it wasn't that long ago a bill similar to this came out of the Senate, but it was mainly based on the inaction, I guess, so to speak, of kill permit. And I haven't had anyone complain about that since. I don't know if members have, but that seems to be working.
Yeah, and I remember that period in time. I guess it was about a decade ago, or
probably
been quite a while, anyhow. And in fact, the department organized a kill permit work group. A number of the stakeholders who've been at the podium already today participated in that. We now have a very robust kill permit program. We have a staff of volunteers, and of course, our officers who administer that, with the goal of quick response to needs of the agricultural community and others who may apply for those permits, and direction in the code and certainly in our own policies to issue them where it's demonstrated that there's been damage.
Thank you. All right. Did I ask for anyone else that had any opposition? I think I did. So, and no one virtually to speak. So, committee operates on motions. I'm not hearing a motion. I'm sorry. Thank you, Delegate March. Okay. Next, we had Delegate Hodges. I don't see Delegate. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Delegate Hodges is over there.
I did, just for order, Delegate Hodges, I did have Delegate Waxman next. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. It's such a pleasure to be here at this bright and early time of the day. I'm here today to present House Bill 1848. This bill is a bill that's designed to bring some compliance in with the state and federal EPA programs. We have a lot of agricultural in my district, and we've got a situation where those farmers would like to build on their property, different farm buildings and all, and it's a situation with stormwater runoff. Also failed to mention we do have some amendments to this bill, and I've been told that it's already should be in the system.
I move the amendments.
We have a motion to approve the amendments. Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Amendments are before us.
And I guess I should say that those amendments are really to bring agritourism into this bill as well too. I do have some experts here too to help answer any questions you may have. The situation that we have is stormwater drain off. It's very expensive for these farmers to purchase the services of an environmental engineer to do all the studies necessary to supply EPA, fulfill their requirements for stormwater drain off. This bill will allow a certain size of the land to be impacted under an agreement with the state that would meet the needs of EPA. It's my understanding that the tract of land that the farmer can put on up to 5% without having to do the full environmental study. That 5% includes not only the building, but any type of parking lot area, as well as the road to that building. This will allow the state to meet a need of EPA, so those farmers don't have these added expenses for putting these buildings on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions of committee? Okay. Anyone in the audience like to speak in favor of this bill? Please come forward. Good morning.
Good morning. Mike Rolban, Director DEQ. The administration strongly supports this bill. I'm going to add a few other items to make some more detail. It does two things. First of all, for single-family homes, there's a registration requirement that we currently don't have in our state law. Every 5 years, we have to reissue a construction general permit. At our last review, the Trump administration pointed out that we were not consistent. We know we're in the process, we're getting ready to start that next review, and clearly the Biden EPA and the same staff we're dealing with have indicated we need to make this fix. So a portion of it just fixes the current problem because we're not consistent with federal requirements. And the Home Builders Association of Virginia knows about this. It's been talked about for a few years. The second part deals with the agricultural issues. And what's happening is around the state, people are building on farms, either for agritourism or for just simply farm buildings. And there's an inconsistency statewide within DEQ and within local governments. What happened is that farm buildings are exempt from building permits, but they're not exempt from stormwater management, nor all the pertinent roads and parking areas and movement areas. So what we're trying to do is figure out a way to consistently apply these regulations and protect the environment. So what we're proposing is to do what we have already for single-family homes, which is an agreement in lieu of a plan for the smaller single-family homes. For the agricultural area, we're looking at a 5% of impervious cover criteria. If you're less than 5% of impervious cover, you can sign an agreement that tells you what you're supposed to do. Our single-family one is on the website right now. On our website, it's two pages, one piece of paper, both sides. It's a very simple form. It would save time and money and have consistency statewide. So I think it's a good idea. I think it encourages agritourism, it encourages agricultural activities, and it reduces the burden on the farmers. And what's happening right now, when I came here last year, first week I got hammered by multiple elected officials about DEQ enforcement actions on different agricultural activities. And what I found out is it's enforced only upon complaints. And I personally play farmer, I'm a hobby farmer, and I'm in Prince William and Fauquier. And I built a road a mile long, built a barn, built a shed, tried to get the plans approved, prepared them. The county didn't want to review them. When I built my single-family home at the end of the mile-long road, I had to do a plan for that, 1,800 square foot impact. It didn't make any sense. And what it was they don't want to impose anything on these agricultural activities because they're trying to keep that going, but they don't want to put that in writing because they said DEQ would get them in trouble. Well, now I'm in a different position, and I want to have everyone follow the rules, but make the rules reasonable to encourage what we want to encourage. Thank you.
I appreciate that common sense approach myself. Anyone else in the audience like to speak in favor or have any questions for anyone in opposition?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Patrick Fanning with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. We have had a chance to speak to the patron and to DEQ about our concerns with the bill. We understand the EPA conformity aspect for the small construction activities, but we do have some concerns about the farming exemptions, and in particular how that relates to meeting our Chesapeake Bay WIP 3 goals. This would be inconsistent with that, and more specifically, we would appreciate perhaps some consideration of an upper threshold on the square footage of these types of farm structures and buildings, which is a regular practice that's used in the conservation easement context, where you set an upward limit in addition to an impervious surface percentage. So for that reason, we oppose the bill at this point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
Good morning.
Chairman, Anna Killius, again with the James River Association. Our concern is with that. What we would like to do is continue to talk about an upper cap on that 5% impervious, just so that there is some threshold above which an agreement in lieu would not be appropriate. So we'd like to continue to have that conversation with the patron and the department. So we would appreciate an opposition at this time.
Thank you. Anyone else? And as we all know, this is a process, so have a motion to report with as amended, excuse me, and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote on the board. Bill is reported 4-1. Thank you, Delegate Waxman. Delegate Hodges.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, good morning.
Good morning.
I believe there is an amendment in the nature of substitute. Did you have copies, or did you paper copies? Great, thank you.
Thank you. So
Sorry
we have
for the late notice. We didn't get this from
That's all right. We appreciate you.
administration until yesterday evening.
Second on the motion.
Yeah, we have a motion to adopt the substitute and the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The substitute is before us. Delegate Hodges.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. A few years ago, we passed legislation, came through this subcommittee, that allowed for the State Water Control Board to provide loans from the Virginia Water Facilities Revolving Loan Fund to local governments for individuals and eligible businesses for living shorelines. And that has been very successful in our area. And this is limited only to those localities in the rural coast of Virginia Economic Enhancement Authority. And the purpose of that is, of course, for water quality and for BMPs. And what we found is we have a number of businesses that are eligible for the living shorelines that are also would like to repair septic systems for the purpose of water quality. For instance, down in Middlesex, we have a marina that is applied for living shorelines, but also wants to upgrade their septic system. So we're just trying to bring this in line so we can have living shorelines and septic repair as well. We're the land of failed septic systems on the East Coast. It's not a great reputation to have, and we're trying to do all we can to help these individuals and these businesses.
Thank you, Delegate Hodges. Any questions of committee? Anyone in the audience would like to speak in support of House Bill 1941? Please come forward.
Good morning. Louis Lawrence. I'm the Executive Director for the Middle Peninsula Planning District Commission, and we administer the revolving loan program. And with Delegate Marshall's help, we were able to bring in for the living shorelines, as Delegate Hodges said, businesses on the waterfront. Over the last probably 5 years, we've begun to see an uptick in the number of waterfront businesses that are experiencing significant challenges dealing with septic issues. And we discovered that the way the program is designed, those businesses are not currently eligible. And so that was creating a problem because they were having access to capital challenges in the private market, and they wanted to respond and repair their septic systems. And so we discovered, well, we got the same problem that we had on living shoreline. And so we need to come back and bring the language on the septic side into parity with the language that was corrected on the living shoreline side, so that we've got all the tools in the toolbox and we can provide access to capital, both homeowners and businesses in the rural coastal area. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Jay Ford with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, also proud resident of the Eastern Shore, another community that faces significant issues with septic along our waterways. This is a make it or break it issue in many places. Our businesses are along the waterfront, the lifeblood of our community. They are also passionately committed to water quality. This gives them a tool that we currently don't have to make sure that we are doing right by our waters in the Chesapeake Bay while also allowing our community's businesses to continue to thrive. So we thank the patron for bringing this important piece of legislation and hope you all will support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in support? Anyone in opposition?
Move to report.
Have a motion to report and second.
With a substitute.
Excuse me, the substitute as amended. Any discussion? If hearing none, vote on the board, please. Bill reports 5-0. Thank you, Delegate Hodges.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And I think that completes our.
Delegate Fowler?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, buddy. Rogue.
Mr. Chairman.
House Bill 1388. What am I thinking?
It's early, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am presenting House Bill 1388. And again, this provides, I guess, the General Assembly and the state to give at least a small degree of thanks to our members of the Virginia Army National Guard by providing them with free access and parking to Virginia state parks, Mr. Chairman. And again, the way this bill will work, again, the bill will allow National Guard members to Virginia state parks free of charge, as well as free parking as additional benefit for their service. And what the bill do would create a passport for the Virginia National Guard members to utilize Virginia state parks, and guardsmen to qualify for that. Guardsmen must obtain this passport with a letter provided by the Secretary of Veterans Defense Affairs attesting to their service in the Virginia National Guard, and the passport is valid for the duration of the individual guardsman's service, Mr. Chairman. And there's also a budget item is included in the governor's budget, so we don't need to worry about that. And again, I have visiting with us here today, I have Jordan Stewart, who's here to ask you any other questions. But, Mr. Chairman, that is essentially the bill.
Thank you, Delegate Fowler. And I apologize for getting you there. Anyone in the room would like to speak in support?
Good early morning, everyone. Jordan Stewart, Assistant Secretary of Veterans and Defense Affairs. The administration strongly supports the bill.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Andrew Smith with the Department of Conservation and Recreation. We do support the bill.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee. My name is Kevin Hoffman. I'm a member of the Virginia National Guard, have been for 20 years. Also a member of the Joint Leadership Council, of which this is one of our priorities. Virginia National Guard has just completed a historic mobilization period surpassed only twice in the last century. Interestingly enough, all of those service members, before they go overseas, they go to Texas for additional about 30, 45 days of training before they actually deploy. When those Virginia National Guard members are in Texas, they can use Texas state parks for free. When we come back, they can't do that. So we think this is good for the Commonwealth. We think this is good for the Guard. And we thank you, Delegate Fowler, for introducing. Thank you.
And I believe we have one virtual in favor.
Okay. We'll go to virtual after the room. So anyone else in support? Anyone in opposition? And we do have someone in the queue that would like to speak. Mr. Johnson?
Regina, is he in the room? Mr.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr.
Good morning. This is
Zablicki.
Andrew Zablicki with the Virginia National Guard Association. I just want to thank the committee members as well as Delegate Fowler for presenting this bill. As you guessed, Virginia National Guard Association definitely supports this bill. And one of the things that we'd like to, just for the committee to consider, is that the United States military is facing a recruiting crisis. And while this bill won't solve it, it will add to the plate for creating a suite of benefits that enable the Virginia National Guard to attract, recruit, and retain the Commonwealth's best. And we strongly support the bill and urge you to report.
Thank you, Mr. Splicki. Any comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Plum?
Does this bill need to be referred to appropriations?
It's in the budget.
It's in the governor's introduced budget.
The money's in there for that.
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
I asked the same question. So, committee works on motions.
Move to report.
A motion to report and second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote on the board, please. Bill reports 5-0. Delegate Fowler, thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Chairman.
with that does complete our docket this morning, and we will have one more. So I'm not sure how many more bills are going to be referred to this committee, but we're going to meet again next week, of course. And then after that, we may have one more, but that would have to be right before full and reported to that full committee. So hopefully we can complete our docket next week. It's my goal. So with that, we stand adjourned.